everyone, I'm here with another episode of Stand-Up Review. We're here with Susie. We're going to be reviewing some of her stand-up from our last laughter party. And if you like this comment, like, subscribe, comment, hit that noti bell, and watch our other episodes. We got plenty of them up there. Susie, before we get into this stand-up set, any context you want to give us, anything you want to say about this set?
Yeah, sure. This laughter party was trying to focus on crowd work fundamentals, which meant watching the audience, reacting to them, being able to break out of my scripted set to acknowledge them, and not necessarily banter with them, but verbally acknowledge reactions. So those were kind of the things I had in mind. Oh, and most importantly, be slow. Whether any of that happens, if I'm just like slow enough. And my motto throughout doing this was I fuck. So I was really channeling like a stand-up comedian who's like confident enough in themselves that they don't really care if the audience laughs.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, I hope we're at least 1 minute into this YouTube video before we drop the F-bomb for the algorithm.
Oh, no, it's okay. I think you'll be fine. I think 30 seconds suffices.
Okay, sure. Give it up again for our very own Susie!
I just quit therapy, so that felt really good. I needed that.
Cop out.
But anyone else here go to therapy?
Okay, so I've been doing this on every episode recently. I like to give the spirit avatar of people's entrance. So our entrance spirit avatar is sort of like, yeah, how we doing? I'm gonna say something confusing. Okay, but yeah. So I like it that what I do like is that we're connected to the audience the full time. We don't as we're grabbing the mic, we're not like, okay, hold on a second. We're connected to the audience. The audience doesn't know how to feel about, I recently quit therapy. They're like, should we feel good about that? Should we feel bad about that?
Okay.
How should we feel about that? So there's sort of like a disconnect. But I like the instinct to be like, okay, well, let's reset and get back to, yeah, and sort of like restart the set. Sorry, you were about to say.
Yeah, no, I felt that, but the reason is I watched like 30 sets about therapy, and they like all start with some kind of I was sad, but this like it's formulaically almost they start with something like this, and
Sure.
I think I somehow missed the mark on doing that. But it is the tendencies for them to say something like, oh, I've been having a rough year, but this made me feel good. Which maybe it was just specifically the word therapy that felt kind of weird.
I think we dropped it too fast. I think secure your entrance moment. No matter what your stand-up set is, no matter what we're about to talk about.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Get this moment. Let this moment land. Let this be a moment, full moment. So I recently quit therapy. And that felt so good. So we weren't done with intro moment, and we had already sort of like jumped into material. That's where at least my instinct is saying like we should have waited longer. But I like the idea of being like, oh man, thank you guys. I needed that because I quit therapy. Whoa. Like we just needed intro longer, I think. Because once again, the intro is the first time the audience is really like, we're starting a conversation with them and we're like, hey, talk to me. And they're like, oh, hey, how are you? This is my part of the conversation. This is us clapping. And for us to kill that prematurely, it's sort of being like, shut up, in a way of the dialogue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was actually really right. I agree with you.
Sure. But I do agree with the instinct to be like, I'm about to talk about therapy, but let's make it be okay because that felt good and I'm okay. So no, and despite all that we sort of like abruptly stopped the initial applause break. I love the instinct to be like, okay, I don't know, something's not working, but let's just go back to applause. Okay, let's start from square one. I love that instinct. I think it's a great reset. It's a like. There's 1,000 ways that like maybe us saying I recently quit therapy would have worked, so I don't necessarily hate it. But we had the catch-all, so anything is safe. Love the instinct to go back to let's just like have them applaud.
I thought that was such a cope. I'm grateful you liked it.
Look, it is a little bit of a cope, but like there are times when you can pimp your own applause break, be like, applause for me, and some comedians will be like, they just asked for that applause break. Does not matter. Does not matter. If I could get a 15-minute set of the audience giving me applause break by me just going like, can I get an applause break? Maybe a little louder, maybe a little louder, maybe a little softer. If I could just play that game for 15 minutes, I would 100%. I would. I'll take it. It does not matter. Because if the audience isn't on your side, if they're not feeling you, if they hate you, they won't applaud you, even when pimped for it. Because like, trust me, I bombed before, and if you're like, can I get an applause? The audience will be like. So just the fact, So just the fact that even if you could call out and get an applause break, still means the audience is on your side.
Do you like your therapist?
Yeah.
Really? Anyone not like their therapist?
The one thing I don't like about that is we sort of like ask the audience, like, do you like your therapist? Really? Which sort of makes them the butt of the joke. It's like, you're weird for liking your therapist with the how we said that. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, you can be like, oh, really? Well, I don't. It's like, a lot of people like the therapist. Okay, great. I don't. Just because, like, the audience is still getting to know us, and so intrinsically, if we're sort of subconsciously shitting on them, it might be souring the dynamic in some ways.
I agree. I thought I could fuck too much. That was a little too much.
You thought your dick was too big. Not that big.
I hate my therapist. I just quit therapy.
I explained the joke finally.
Yeah, but the subtle thing that I do love, that's all performance side, is that we talked about, I recently quit therapy, and then we said, I hate my therapist, I recently quit therapy. We point to where we did the I quit therapy, which reminds the audience. It's a very subtle move, but like these are things that get you like the subtle percentages of using the mastery of all those tools available to you in stand-up. So I love that move of pointing to where the audience learned that information so that they can remember it better. It helps make the joke more clear. Love that move, and not many people, even on Laughter Party, would do that. So love it.
But I really try to make it work.
Also, I love this move. This subtle move of, we're doing business. We're doing stand-up business. We need to move the mic. But that doesn't mean we need to stop talking while we do the move. No, hey guys, people move things naturally when we talk to them, and we're doing this here. Love it. And it seems so simple, but lots of stand-ups shut themselves off when they do that business. So once again, subtle, very good, natural performative moves. Love it.
So I decided to give it another chance, and I went on BetterHelp. Some of you guys.
To continue the theme of good performative notes, the audience knew to give us the because of our face afterwards. If we just because I went on BetterHelp, neutral face, the audience would not have given us that beautiful that we wanted and that we could react to. So I love the here's how I feel about it and how you should feel about it. Love it. Anything, I'm sorry, I'm just talking at you right now. Anything that you want to say about thus far all these little tiny nuanced moments and performative pluses?
I'm gonna be honest. I was reluctant about watching the footage because I was thinking about it. But now watching it, I'm like, oh, this suddenly has made me better already. Because I kind of with acting, understood the motivation behind doing the things that I was doing. And I felt the offness, but I wasn't really smart enough to pinpoint oh, it's because I kept talking that worked. And I could have been frustrated in the future if I did one of those things different. So I really like that we're naming the good. And I also really agree with the awkward ones. And I'm very glad you are able to provide me with solutions so fast.
Sure.
That's
sure. Yeah.
No, some of you don't. So for those.
I love that reading the audience. Part of the audience got BetterHelp. Part of the audience didn't have that knowledge. And so we've been okay, that wasn't a full audience laugh. Okay, let's point to the people. I'm recognizing you. I see you. And the audience is oh, she sees us. She's recognizing this. She's acknowledging that we were silent to that. This is a conversation. Okay, good. It's sort of internally what that allows them to do. And then we explain it. We were going to explain it either way, but pointing out to the very silent part of the audience makes it feel like we are only doing this in response to them, which makes it feel more conversational and validates them. So great.
Those of you who've never seen a YouTube video.
Also, sorry. I'll stop gushing performance-wise. But also, we also walk instead of staying in our casual hidey spot in the back of the stage, which is a little bit of a defensive hidey spot to go against the wall and lean against the mic stand. But we say we're addressing the silent part of the audience, and we walk towards them to address them. Love it. Great.
Never seen a YouTube video. There are a lot of ads on YouTube for BetterHelp.
And they didn't get that joke either, and then we commented like, I get it, you don't get it. There's a lot of YouTube ads.
You told me to add that.
Yeah. I've been around a little bit. I know.
BetterHelp
It worked.
Is this online therapy service that is well known for having unlicensed therapists. Oh, you remember now? When I said that. So BetterHelp is kind of like Chatterbait. Yes. Right? So it's a place where you talk to someone for company and for advice who really should not be giving it to you. But on Chatterbait, at least you come to better conclusions. The women there have a...
So I like the timing on the come. I was like, to better conclusions, and cutting off that, we did just walk over one of our applause. You could have gotten an applause break if you stuck it and thanked the audience for applauding. Listen, they start to applause break after they come to better conclusions, and we sort of like kill it.
The women there have a rough...
Wait.
But on Chatterbait, at least you come to better conclusions. The women there have...
There's three different parts of the audience starting to clap, and then you say the women, and so you're gonna kill the applause break that you could have gotten if you had paused and been like, yeah, thank you. I see the people that have used Chatterbait, or something to reignite the laugh after we acknowledge the applause. Does that make sense?
Yes, what I'm about to say, I had as a backup that I cut, and I will say because I feel like the joke didn't land. And let's see if it helps or worse.
You felt the previous joke didn't land?
I felt awkward. Maybe it's because I was impatient.
Okay, sure. I mean, like, once again, you if we had paused and been like, thank you, it would have been a full applause break right there.
They're rough. They can give you some advice, I think. But...
So, once again, I don't hate that joke that the women there have seen some things.
I was...
But we had just basically non-verbally said, shut up, audience! And now we're like, why aren't you talking? So, like, the audience will be less primed to laugh when we just immediately stifled an applause break. So you could have said almost anything there, and it wouldn't have gotten a big laugh unless it was like super clever because of the psychology that we're throwing at them.
Yeah, I also feel like I gave off beta vibes in that whole set, where I kept I didn't quite get a laugh, I didn't hold, and then I say another thing, and then I don't quite get a laugh, so I keep going.
Sure.
Which for me felt like smart, but now looking back, I'm like, no, if I just said that first one, then I looked at them for a second. Like, even if I didn't get the laugh, I still think I would have just asserted myself as, like,
sure,
we're all on the same page. You smiled. Like, we're chill.
Yeah.
Whereas I gave nervous energy here.
Yeah, this Susie doesn't fuck. Let's get back to the Susie this Susie virgin.
My BetterHelp therapist, she was kind of normal at first.
But what I do like is even if we feel like we ate shit, we start this bit like the audience didn't just see us get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? Some comedians would let that. So like, still, I like the performance aspect of being unflappable going into this instead of being like, oh, you guys didn't like that. So like, great recovery.
I'll be honest. I thought it was funnier in the moment. I felt the audience not quite getting it, but I also felt like they were with me in the moment. Sure. So I didn't feel like I ate as much shit as I do watching it.
So they're not against you. Like if the audience ever stops laughing, even then you can I'll tell you if you've completely lost the audience. No one on that laughter party lost the audience. So we don't have to worry about that.
Normal at first.
I love that. Of like, here, watch. And then the reaction to that causes the laugh.
Normal at first?
No. I want the beginning of that joke.
The women there have it rough. They can give you some advice, I think. But
Also, another reason why I think that specific line didn't work is at the end of that, I think we don't know how to think, so the audience doesn't know what you think because we are the spirit avatar of the audience and we're confused. So the audience will naturally be confused. We just went over AJ's set, and he did that a lot in his last laughter party set. He's like, he ended jokes and where he's like, what? And then the audience didn't laugh that big because the audience is also like, well, how should I feel about this? You're supposed to tell me how I feel about this.
BetterHelp therapist, she was kind of normal at first.
I love it. She was kind of normal at first, and then we get a big laugh because we're laughing, and you laughed at how ridiculous that is, and then we know how to feel about it. We're like, yeah, that is ridiculous. We do agree with you, but I don't think we would have gotten a laugh if you hadn't have laughed at yourself, sort of at that idea. It wouldn't have been shown to us like why that is funny. We would have just taken it at face value as expositional knowledge instead of a place to laugh. So like great performative laugh there.
At first.
It wasn't performative. Also,
Oh, okay.
someone smiled and then that made me laugh.
Oh, sure. Hey.
I was like, you caught it? Yay!
Motto of normal, I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm telling you what you need to hear. Oh. We've all heard it. Have you guys all gone to my therapist?
Great playing off the energy of the audience. Sorry, yeah, you're like, no, you don't like that?
No, that joke was unfunny, but it was very cool that I did it, I think. I think if I thought about it for a second longer, I would have not said that stupid thing. But I said it and people laughed. So
Yeah, once again, I think it's like jumping off of their energy. And so like the jokes don't have to be as clever because we're just, we're that full in the moment dialogue and like showing your personality.
But it got weird because she had 3 rules. Do you guys have rules in therapy? No. I didn't think so. But my rules were 1, I couldn't talk about my boyfriend. What? Right? Isn't that why women go to therapy? To talk about my boyfriend.
Okay, your thoughts on that joke before I talk about it. I don't want to keep steamrolling you.
that was fine. I did just stop them. I did stop a laugh at, but it got weird.
Sure.
People started to laugh and I kind of cut it off to finish my whole bit. And I think then it got a little quiet. So I think if I paused there, that whole bit would have been... I also do think when I was looking at the audience, they were very much with me. So I did get a sense of louder laugh and watching it back. Because I think they very much liked me when we're with me. But in terms of footage, it's not as good.
To be fair to you, there are 4 audio sources in the room. I don't know which one is used for this footage. So for all we know, the front of the stage could have been laughing really loud. So the truth of the universe is Susie did hear a bigger laugh than this audio source because the pocket of where was laughing big is just like different where you. So like yeah, it could be true that you on stage you felt you had a better laugh, but now I was watching it back because the audio that we so like don't feel weird about that. Yeah. The moment I want to talk about, similar to how we just talked about how when you had confused face, the audience didn't know how to feel. This joke could have not landed, but because we were giggling and we showed the audience how they should feel, they followed us and they laughed. So what I love about this is this.
Talk about my boyfriend.
So we're going what face? Audience is literally saying what with us, feeling our feelings.
Right? Isn't that why women go to therapy?
So we're ramping energy, so the audience will ramp energy with us with their reaction. Notice the audience takes another tier of energy.
To talk about my boyfriend.
And I think my boyfriend, the smile and the wink and the laugh and thing is what activates this laugh.
He's here.
So I think that's the key. Because if you just said like, isn't that why women go to therapy? To talk about my boyfriend? Would have still gotten a laugh, but not as big a laugh if we weren't sort of like leading the horse to water.
Yeah, I feel like watching myself, Patricia, I felt the same feeling, and I'm happy that I gave it because I watched her and I felt really good about, she looked like she was having a lot of fun up there. And at that moment, I do look like...
And no offense to Patricia, she's more nervous than you are.
Yeah, but it was delightful to watch her have fun, you know? Yeah. So I was like, oh. I took my anxiety pills before that.
Sure. Oh, it's gigantic fucking like, oh. No, I didn't mean to make you do a blow. I just meant like your pill is so comically large. Because
I wasn't doing a dick, I was doing a pill.
Yeah. Okay.
You read it as inappropriate. I didn't mean to make you do that. The horrible face you just made.
Someone clip that. No.
By the way, guys, say hi, Shun.
Hi, Shun.
Say, Shun, can you stop leaving the toilet seat up? Because I keep falling in and I'm gonna get a yeast infection. Yeast infection. Thank you. I couldn't deal with that in therapy.
Okay, so my only problem with that is the phrase we wanted the audience to say way too long. Like we need to do
It was longer. Shun asked me to cut it.
We need to do it in 2 pieces. Can everyone say, Shun, can you leave the toilet down? Shun, can you leave the toilet down? Because I'm afraid I'll get a yeast infection. Because I'm afraid I'll get a... You have to say it. Yeast infection. Like, it would have worked 100%. We just needed to break it up in 2, I think. But we could still say that whole thing, just in pieces.
That's smart.
Or we go full tilt the other direction. We're like, everyone say it with me. Shun, can you leave the seat down? Because I'm going to get a yeast infection. Because every Tuesday when you leave it down, I fall on the seat and blah, blah, blah. Did anyone say it? Why didn't you guys say the whole thing with me? We could also lean the verbose way as well. But I think...
I like the other one.
In pieces. I agree. Yep.
Lisa. Second rule.
And I added that in the moment. I couldn't deal with that in therapy. Because I was like, okay, there was a bit of awkwardness about people trying to say they couldn't quite. And then that's why I said yeast infection. To be like, we all finished together. And then I added that tag on to be like, oh no, I'm just making you do this very annoying thing that I just made you do for this reason. And then I got a little...
I like those instincts. I like those instincts of like we maybe made a sort of faux pas with having too long of a thing. Okay, how do we get back on track? Let's clearly delineate the end because people are in different spots. So like yeast infection is also funny that we're like re-emphasizing you have to say it. So I love that as far as a thing. And then I love the off-ramp of like, okay, maybe that didn't work. I have to do that now because they won't let me do it in therapy. Great. Now any tension has been resolved. Great. I love all those instincts. 100%. Love that.
The way I wrote this is I wrote so much that I cut, even before showing, that I think I had these in the back of like, they're not funny enough to be in the set, but there were enough things just in my repertory of this story that like, I didn't get nervous. Like, I got to think of something witty. Now it's like, okay, I've got a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those watching at home, a lot of stand-ups, when they do crowd work or when they have these lines, a lot of time they've done the set 100 times and they've reacted to audiences before, and they've kept the best things that they've said in those audience reactions. So it seems like they're in the moment, but really they're just pulling from a repertoire of like 100 times doing the set and using the best stuffs. And so they're like, wow, how are they so clever? Because they're not coming up with it in the moment. Same thing with crowd work. You get like the same 8 professions all the time, as we know from Basu.
Worse. She said I couldn't talk about my friends. Trying to look chill. Or family. Yeah. She said they weren't paying her. So it made it really awkward for me to...
Okay, thoughts of second iteration, friends and family.
I thought that was pretty okay. Like, I think I kind of let them laugh. I specifically said I'm trying to look chill, so I think me holding off and not really reacting to the laugh much was kind of okay there. I'm looking at it, I'm not like particularly upset with anything that I did.
Cool. Yeah, okay. Once again, we have a laugh at ourselves that activates the audience laugh. The only thing, if I'm going to nitpick, and I don't know if I should nitpick while working with you, the only thing I'll nitpick is we get some really fun, actual audible words from the audience that we could maybe play with if we were listening to the audience. Like here, watch. What are you talking about, was just said.
She said they weren't paying her. So it made...
One second.
Yeah, there's like a was.
Let me go back a little bit further.
Second rule gets worse. She said I couldn't talk about my friends. Trying to look chill.
Oh, we missed the mic stand, and I really like the calling out and calling. Like, some comics will just blaze past it and act like it didn't happen. I love the I'm trying to look chill. I love the resolving that tension. Love that instinct to do that.
Or family.
What? We have too loud, big, what?
Yeah.
Wait.
No, wait. That was Colby.
What are you talking about? We have so many fun things in the
Yeah.
audience that we could have jumped on.
She said
That's true.
they weren't paying her.
And I love that they weren't paying her, because that could get dark. She said they weren't paying her. Like, it could just easily have come off as like, oh my God, how should we feel? But because you're laughing at it and we have this nice giggle, I think the audience gets it. And we get a big laugh.
So it made it really awkward for me to tell her about my week. I would have to be like, so this week, no one made me upset when they blamed me for not doing work that wasn't mine. So I got upset for no reason.
So I think we saved this with the no reason and laughing at ourselves and helping the audience laugh. The one thing I'll say about this joke is the concept of the joke is that we're not allowed to talk about people. What?
I remember your note. I told Shun, I said, I don't know how to do that note in time. And he said, you can just keep it. And I said, okay. I didn't figure out, I didn't nail how to, I understood your note, but I couldn't figure it out in a way that, I think if I
got
figured it out,
upset
it
this
worked
week.
better.
I got upset this week when nobody yelled at me for being a bad daughter. And I was like, nobody, when you married nobody, so things that intrinsically tell the relationship because of the interspelling words, but anytime we would actually say a word, it'd be nobody. And all the things, instead of I did nothing, the joke isn't that you can't say what you did during the week. The idea is that you can't say the people. So it's basically a giant Mad Lib where all the people are very clearly delineated with so I was like, when you and you had my sister, nobody, like things that like that is like what the joke is.
But I feel like the story can't be too, the story itself has to be somewhat entertaining, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, it has to be a story that says some insecurity of mine or something. Sure. So I feel like there's a fine tuning that I haven't quite been able to figure out yet.
I agree with that it's easy for me to do the bastardized Mad Lib because I don't have to build in something that feels fulfilling and feels like you would actually say during therapy, which is a greater task. So to be fair, yeah, it'd probably take more than a day or two to come up with that fulfills both the nobody and the feels like something you'd say in therapy.
To be fair, I do want to redo this set, which is part of why I felt one part of the reason why I was able to read things at the moment, I think, is I fuck. And I'm going to redo this in my mind. So anything that didn't go quite perfectly, I was like, oh, I dealt with it okay. There was way less pressure for me to nail the set. Which is something
you fuck, but you're not gonna nail the set. You're gonna nail something.
Yeah, I'm nailing my bitches. So so that's one thing that I will say for a refix of the set, which will keep it exciting for people rewatching.
Sure.
And it gets worse.
Once again, and it gets worse could also be dark. And it gets worse. The audience could be like, but we're laughing at ourselves. So once again, we're everything feels okay. There's an air of brevity, even though we're talking about mental health and things getting worse. Love that.
Rule number 3 was, we only talked about. You're gonna say more very soon.
And I love that preemptive, we're gonna make it okay. We're gonna make it okay. You're gonna say but we're gonna
Someone said
laugh.
audibly.
Yeah, you could have been like, see? Too soon. Wait a couple seconds. Yeah, we could have played with that.
We only talked about how unfunny she thought I was. Oh. You bring me or her? She would boo me.
Yeah, I love that. How do you feel about that interaction?
Oh, I was having the greatest time at that moment. Yeah. I was like, it was one of the times I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. In this moment, yeah, you're fucking right now. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Great.
Probably when they have.
Yeah, you got the audience in unison to be like, no, her, because we're so invested about yeah.
Also, you really, I hear you cheering there. Well, I will hear you helping.
Yeah. Oh, are you kidding? I clack and I help so much. So many times during laughter party, someone will come up with something we'll have something and they're I'll be like, there's an opportunity for them to jump on this, and I'll be like for Kobe's, I was like, Thomas the Tank, to try to steer him in where the audience is feeling, or if the audience starts applauding, I'll be like, yeah, and make sure I activate the applause break when the comedian on stage should be doing it. But I take care of you guys. I wish I had a few me's in my own. Well, to be fair, you and Shun, you more so than anyone else, are a very good clacker, and I are the equivalent of having a me in the audience. Mike Springthorpe as well. Springthorpe is also a very good clacker. Yeah.
All right. Usually a therapist doesn't tell you they find you unfunny. Instead, they do their jobs.
Love that emotion behind the do your jobs in response to there's a million other ways we could play with it, but I love this. I think like there's other things we could have done, but they wouldn't have been better. They just would have been equal to that response.
What
But
other
I'm
things do you
sorry.
think I could have done? I think I could have that to my tool belt.
They did that. They were. I mean, how many times would the audience what would the audience say?
Do their job.
Wait.
Right?
He said lie to you.
Usually a therapist
I was
doesn't
baiting that.
tell you they
I specifically
find you
give that pause so
funny.
people think I'm gonna say that.
Instead, they.
Maybe your therapist. Mine is brutally honest.
Well,
Brutally
yeah,
honest.
well, oh yeah.
As one other thing, or like lie to you. This guy also goes to BetterHelp. There's another thing you could have said there. Lie to you. No, I'm not your parents, or whatever. There's a million things that you could.
Oh, do you do improv?
I've been known to every once in a while. Yeah, but lie to you, if you can get that from the audience again, so many things we can. No, they're not your boyfriend, which I'm not allowed to talk about. Like there's lots of things that you could lie to you is such a generic thing that we could have fun.
Do their jobs. But I'm sorry that happened to you.
And I like making that. We're getting applause break. So what we need to do, so we're keeping talking. We need to say thank you and acknowledge and allow the audience to applause break. Be like, or some sort of nonverbal gesture, or be like, yeah, because we're about to talk over this applause.
Almost worse.
And then it cuts. You see how it cuts down as soon as we start talking. So this is one of those moments when we should have activated that applause.
That's almost worse.
Yeah.
That's almost worse.
And then instead of it continuing cresting and then coming down.
Yeah. I think I got very proud that I acknowledged
Sure.
it. And I was like, let's keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did cut that up. I don't think thank you necessarily will suit my voice. Like if because I'm like trying to be friendly. But I agree with you. I have to have like a thing that I do. Exactly.
Or like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Or like, I just said thank you again because that's my go-to. But like, oh, I appreciate it.
Thank you most. I feel a lot of comics do not most. A lot of comics do successfully. I think you do it successfully. But yeah, I need to not be like, well, the thank you doesn't work, so I'm gonna do nothing and keep talking. It's a little dumb.
Just some sort of acknowledgement and permission giving, whatever word or gesture or whatever form that comes in.
But here's kind of how the conversation went. This happened before last laughter party. And I said, I'm nervous about Laughter Party, the show, and I know I shouldn't be. Yeah. I wasn't fishing for that. But so I need some strategy.
Oh no, you could have done more with that. I wasn't fishing for that, but.
I tried to do it, but I had one hand on it.
Yeah. It's okay.
But I did like your joke.
I like this iteration of it. We could have gotten a bigger applause if we had waited and then reignited it with the fishing instead of making the fishing part of the initial applause break. But it's fine. I love it.
No, I like that. No, you can give me those notes. I can handle it today.
I mean, I am giving you.
I know, but you're scared. You could have, but it's okay.
No, no. Here's the thing. Nothing has to be totally optimized. So the audience is still on our side. We're still doing a good job. So there's always going to be things that are bloody and scuffed. So to say oh, you should have done this. This is pristinely and objectively the perfect stand-up. No. That'd make me.
Yeah. For that. And she said, "Oh, I don't think you're funny at all. But it's okay, because."
I love the writing phrase of we just dropped a big bomb. The audience is literally saying, oh.
But it's okay.
And that we laughed at it, so we made it seem like, oh, right now your vibe is okay. And we literally say, it's okay, literally right after the bomb. Just great structurally writing. Love that as far as making the audience okay.
I also don't think Adam Sandler's funny. Thank you for
I love how long we were confused, which helps the thank you land. What the fuck? What? Thank you. I don't know if we're about to do it, but we could have just used an explanation or an expression of that emotion that we're showing about what? And then the
Oh,
audience
yeah.
would have matched us.
Comparing me to Adam Sandler?
Because once again, because we're kind of whispering like this, the audience is matching our energy. So their laughter
yeah.
is matching this. But we did just sort of hint at a big emotion with our like, what? What? Thank you, I guess. And then it would have gotten a bigger laugh because audience would have matched us in our energy.
Yeah, it could have been
Because
like awkward. What? Awkward. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
So I get a big laugh and then I can lower the
Yes.
You notice how the laugh is like a because they're matching our. We're literally whispering at them.
There are a couple weird things about that story, right? Yes. What do you think is wrong with that story? Any guesses?
All of it.
You're so funny.
I wasn't fishing for that,
Okay.
but anything else? Right? Adam Sandler is.
Okay, your thoughts on this playing with the craft?
Okay. I think it was okay to direct. I think I'm actually pretty happy that I was patient because people were there, they were vocal and they were thinking. Like I clocked that guy all night and he wanted to say something. I was like, I'll hold off till he says something. Someone said something there. Fish. Maybe the fish could have been like slower build there because that would have done two things. Doing the first gesture and then building up. And I think if I'd done the hook and then that would have been more callback.
We could have milked the hours of the yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
And if I milk that, I'm also giving time for the audience to think. It's the same thing as bots, like you step out, you tell a joke that isn't great to buy other people time. So it's the same thing as here. It's like I'm doing a callback, and if I can milk this callback, I'm giving the audience time to like say whatever thing they wanted to say. So that's I think I don't mind this moment. But...
Sure. My one nitpick is the audience is sort of like it can be acted like a giant, dangerous, scared animal. Like that's kind of how you have to treat them in some ways that you're trying to befriend. And what should they have done is a very open question. It is a very open question as an audience member. I don't know what the answer should be. So if the audience wasn't brave like they were here, you would have gotten just crickets, as most of the audience was.
Well, but then we had the backup that we practiced, which was I was speechless too to try to get a laugh. I would like to try that at like a mic or a place where they're very hostile and see if that that saves at least the non-douchebags if they get something, or if that would just be crickets even with a save. Because I didn't get to feel out the save in this, or at least a laughter party or somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think an open mic would be a good place to test if the save works, because even the save, they might be like, no, fuck this.
Well, right, but then I can come up with an even better save is the thing. Of
just 8 layers of save, just 8.
Well,
save,
yeah,
save.
like how do I have the optimized save for the suckiest audience?
Sure.
It might not be the best use of my time is the question, but yeah.
It's hilarious. Those are two of the things. But there are a couple more. So I am funny.
I do given all my objection to the open question, I do like the fact that we acknowledge the audience. We did actually talk to them. We did actually take them suggestions. So we opened Pandora's box, but then we played with it. We didn't negate them, and then we reference on what they talked about, so they feel validated for giving us input, and then we smoothly transition. So open question aside, we deal with our open question fairly well.
For that, but anything else?
But you see how the energy drops when you say but anything else, and we go back from very clear with the audience to do so, like back to open-ended question, and then the beast gets scared again.
Yeah.
Right? Adam Sandler is hilarious. Those are two of the things.
So good. We acknowledge them, so they don't feel vindicated. We asked them for things. They told us things, and we didn't just say like, okay, thank you. We're like, oh, yeah, okay, great.
But there are a couple more. So I am funny.
And I love the react. I love yeah, great.
Also, Adam Sandler is very funny.
Okay, now we're kind of repeating too many known informations.
And me too.
We could have activated that applause break with a thank you or similar because it started to applause if you acknowledge it.
Yeah, someone said something there, and I say me too, but I can't hear what they say. So I
missed
really
the
know.
old Alec, that joke that Colby established that was called back by like eight.
Oh, what did
times.
Alex say?
Remember, he was like, Colby started his set with like, woo,
Yeah, I remember that. But why did
hey,
they say that in the middle of my set? Oh, like miss the old me, like before I jacked off? Is that? I don't get it.
I think it's because I don't know exactly what the audience was referencing into like to try to get that energy again, but I think they meant like Colby's originally setting up the joke as the audience wooed him really well, and then he went to talk to the audience, and then he was sort of like, the person in the audience. He's like, I miss the old Alec, the Alec that was like, woo. So it's like I think the audience is sort of like referencing a big woo with that moment, but it's hard to be certain.
I don't think I got it either, so I'm very proud that I said me too, even though I had no fucking idea what they were referencing. Like I understood the reference, but I had no idea why they were saying it. So I was like, I'll validate you though.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Love it. Love the instinct.
But also, she called me unfunny. Okay. But am I supposed to be funny in therapy? Are you guys funny in therapy? Yeah? Oh, no, right? I thought that was like a defense mechanism.
Oh, you could have targeted that at the people that said yes, and it maybe would have landed harder. Like, no, right? I know some of you said yes, but isn't that a defense mechanism? Oh, I gotcha.
I was about to write that. I ignored the yes. I go, but no, right? I want to know what's the answer.
Yeah.
You love.
So yeah, once again, the pause starts and we keep talking. We need to just some sort of permissive, like, keep doing what you're doing, and then that would have gone to full applause break if we would acknowledge that starting of the clap.
Defense mechanism. Your walls are up. Here's how she wants me to do therapy. Yo, therapist. My mom has no friends and I'm worried. My mom is so lonely. How lonely is she? She calls. I don't pick up. Ha 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 ha! Ho 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 ho! Good therapy.
If we acknowledge that applause, it would have enacted an applause break. So it's
Yeah.
like we just need to really drop in that like whatever, thank you, or like you can thank you.
Also, I fucked up the beginning of that bit, which was confusing.
Yeah, it was a little like we were coming off of a laugh and we sort of like snuck it in there, the setup. But still, the rest of it landed. Great. Love that. Any other thoughts on the therapist person as stand-up bit?
Oh, the whole thing? I don't know.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, what I do like is even when there's moments of this when the audience isn't laughing, but you're having fun doing it. So like I don't feel weird that the audience isn't laughing because like, hey, we're just watching Susie Playtime, like this moment right here. Watch.
Yeah.
You love defense mechanism.
Wait, go back though. I'm responding to someone.
Okay, yep.
Be funny in therapy? Are you guys funny in therapy? Yeah? Oh, no, right? I thought that was like a defense mechanism. You love defense mechanism.
Yeah, I think you're responding at the big laugh over there to defense mechanism, and which is good. It's good that when there's an unusually big laugh, it's good to go, oh, you guys really like that one. Defense mechanism. Defense? A mechanism. Defense mechanism. Oh, yeah. That guy has them. Like, we could have played with that, yeah. And I like that, yeah. I like that instinct.
Your walls are up. Here's how she wants me to do therapy. Yo, therapist.
This moment could come off cringe if we weren't having so much fun, or at least.
Well, it's because I forgot my line there. I started doing the old bit, which is meek. I was like, no. Yo, therapist.
Sure. But once again, I like the feel of like watching Susie playtime, so it's good.
Oh, therapist. My mom has no friends and I'm worried. My mom is so lonely.
How lonely is she?
She calls. I don't pick up. Good therapy.
Once again, the audience starts applauding again, and we could have activated that. But by this point, we've trained them to act this way about like, oh, I'll let you kind of applause a little, and then I'm going to talk. So there's a less chance that we get a full applause break because of all the ways that we haven't acknowledged the earlier ones. It's probably the same 2-3 people trying to activate each applause break. But because we haven't trained the audience, if we trained them in the correct way, each of these applause break probably would have activated themselves because the audience would have been used to, oh, people start applauding, and then she says thank you, and then we should applaud too. And so people would have been trained to pick up on any beginning of applause. So we would have been training them in the the direction we wanted them to. So
I just like sometimes it feels like in those familiar houses, if I train too much applause breaks, like they like me. So I don't want them to give this roaring applause because, no offense, it happened. They pity you.
You can. I mean, look. Even
like I've done it. I've started the pity applause break. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. I will agree with that, and I do also agree that like if you go into some hostile houses, we are a little bit uncalibrated after doing laughter party. However, as far as like stand-up 101, I'd rather us getting used to like hearing any sort of applause start and getting used to saying thank you, and then once we've done that, then we can delineate when we do and don't want to activate applause. But right now, we are erring on the side of almost never acting the applause break, so I'd rather us activate too many and then dial it back than to be worried about like, oh, we need to go. But like, it is a very, what you just said, very valid, and there is a line of if it's a hostile house and one person starts clapping and we know the audience is on our side and we're like thank you, then the rest of the house will be like, no, that was lame as shit. And so you could get into trouble in other houses doing similar if you're not really empathizing with where the audience is at. So like it is a good call out. Like, so I do have to say yes. Thank you.
But the second weird thing is she said she hated Adam Sandler, which, why? But also, she talked about it for 20 minutes. She didn't just criticize him generally. She got into details about his lesser-known films. And so you guys know that it's true. I'll tell you what I learned when I was with her. So apparently, grown-ups. No, don't cheer for it. Sucked. Even though it was a critical failure, it made a lot of money. And that symbolizes how he perceives the movie industry, according to her.
I'm cutting that one.
Okay, sure.
Just because he's Jewish.
I don't understand.
The implication is he's greedy he just makes a bunch of money, even though he's very talented. He makes a bunch of movies that are mid with star power for money. Which again, I could have been clearer about her point of view there, because I cut that. I was a very long-winded paragraph. I tried to make sure. But again, I think calling a Jewish man, just saying he's greedy about the industry, which was her take as a black woman, it just feels weird coming from my mouth.
Oh, sure.
So it was misworded, and it was a weird thing for her to have said and for me to repeat. Sure, I don't think it was because he was Jewish. It wasn't anything motivated by that, but it's still odd.
Okay. I'll that's not the journey my mind went through. But okay. Maybe I just like whatever. Okay. And there's some other things I was gonna say about like why that moment might have seemed funky performative wise. But hey, if we're gonna cut it anyways, hey, we'll just cut it. And yeah, I am always on the side of being overly safe.
For money, which he did not like. And also, apparently he has a very good relationship with Drew Barrymore. 50 First Dates, a wedding singer. Yeah, but apparently he fucked it up! She sounds like a fuckboy in my mind. Because he was in a 2014 movie.
Oh, we could have played with that. My therapist sounds like a fuckboy. You need to do better at getting coping mechanisms, because, brah, you totally can't handle it. That's a bit that we could put in here. divorced of all this moment. But maybe we're just jumping. Maybe we just jumped on it improv wise as we started. Was that written in, or is that just like you recognizing that you?
I did it during a
performance?
practice, and then I repeated it there because I was also like, I need to get them on my side again. So
Sure.
a little side bit there will just get
I
them.
like it. I like it, and I also think it has enough legs to be a bit in its own right, like properly set up. But I like this jumping on it and making it seem like, oh hey, we're just following the fun in the moment. You tricked me. I was like, oh, did she figure that out now? So great.
Blended with her, and it sucked so hard, no one wants to see them together in movies anymore. Did you guys know that? No. Yeah, you shouldn't. No one should know that.
I kind of like these jokes like not landing as hard with that button at the end. But that the whole point is that this is all bullshit and that like that on tat like so I kind of do like that the do you guys know that or like that sucked so hard that they can't do movies again. And the audience is sort of like taking us at face value, like, okay, yes, those are facts. And like, yeah, that's not the joke. The joke is that I'm not supposed to know that. And then it sort of like forgives any sort of like weirdness that might have come off of like us thinking that you thought you were going to get a laugh. Like, I like that. I like that as a
I do think in the moment that's the one moment of watching back where I'm like, I do kind of read as awkward, as in like, they're just watching. They don't hate me. They don't think I'm unfunny. They're just watching, and there isn't a moment for a laugh. But I kind of get in my head a little bit, and I think it becomes visible, so I create a tension. That is one moment where I really don't fuck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I think if I were to redo it, cutting it shorter, but also just being like, I'm just not gonna get a laugh here. Which is why when you watch a recorded stand-up set, is so much fucking easier because they've done it a million times. Yeah. They kind of know where the laugh comes. So. And
also, they can edit. The editor can put a laugh wherever they want. So.
I shouldn't know that.
As someone who's watched a professional stand-up taping, one of the many, and then watched the actual final performance, yeah, some jokes don't land, and you don't see that in the final cut.
Instead, I should have coping mechanisms, distress tolerance tactics. Yes! Clapping for coping mechanisms.
It's the same joke. I forgot. Because it was Colby, right? Yeah. I didn't get that it was a callback. I was like, what?
Sure. They're also. We shouldn't be in writing mode, but I'm kind of glad. Like, I should have coping mechanisms, like Adam Sandler had in the movie Blah 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 when he told them that he shouldn't do that. I should have healthy defense mechanisms, like Adam Sandler when he was in the movie Blah 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 Blah. Or I should have healthy outlets, so I don't have to get on stage and tell people about Adam Sandler. Like we could have made. It might be gilding the lily too much. It might just be like these mental health phrases might have big enough star power on their own that just by referencing them, a big part of the audience that's working on themselves will want to applaud this thing that they are working on themselves. So I could be leading us astray by adding too much and putting too many stars in the movie when it's already overbloated. And now that I'm saying it, I think just naming more the stars of mental health could just be a good bit and could get applause breaks as you just enable concepts.
More
I think
health strategies. Yeah, I'm happy there that I acknowledged. I was like, I was confused, and I was like, I think better than ignoring it. I think naming it was better, but it was kind of really cringe that it did not click that it was a callback. But then I get Colby. I love you watching this. You're kind of heckling me. It's my joke. You're making it about you. You put me in a place where I had to acknowledge you, so I'm not ready to deal with that.
Oh, hashtag Colby or at Colby. Yeah.
Drama.
Oh, honestly, like after every laughter party that he comes to, Minty apologizes because you can hear him very audibly say things during multiple people sets. And for my sets, I love it. It's things that I can like generate fuel off of it. But yeah, if people aren't ready for it, it can very easily because he's not just saying like woo. He's like giving full sentences that are audible and used with a stage performance voice over the top of everything. So like, yeah, it could definitely throw someone off. Like if he did something like that to Patricia, I'd be like, get my house.
I mean, I don't mind it. I should have done better. It's good that I now watching it back, I'm like, oh yeah, that was stupid. Be smarter.
Oh. Okay. I missed that.
For coping mechanisms. I'm getting upstaged by mental health.
I like that as
Oh, I fixed it. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you did a...
But now, every time I'm happy or anxious, all I can think about is Adam. What's his middle name? Sandler. So
Pull out my phone.
for this show, I was actually really excited. I was very grateful. You know, I'm 24. I still have a long while to like work on stand.
that could have been fun. They like people wooing you at 24, like, yay, numbers, 26, 27, 32, 69, 7, 13. Like, we could have had fun with that if we wanted to. But that's easy to do Monday night quarterbacking after the fact.
Up and like get even better. And I'm grateful for that. And I was just thinking, you know, like Adam Sandler only started stand-up at 17. 17! But to make myself feel better.
Oh, we could have been like, but coping mechanism, reframing. Like we could have labeled them. And after we established mental health, anytime we do something in our set, we could label like the things that we're doing about like be great. Mental health thing, gratitude. I am grateful for where I am. Mental health thing, coping and label that and show the use of the thing that we've said the audience that we've learned about, that we brought up as a thing. And then we could also be like, and by the way, I didn't learn these from her. I had to learn this by myself. Like after we.
I just wrote that down.
Yeah.
I said like point out like where did I learn this? Not with her.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know, he didn't have everything when he was my age. Like I've been in a very good relationship for 6 years.
Everyone say hi, Shun.
He's very cute and very ragdoll-esque. And at 24, Adam Sandler had not met his future wife yet.
Are you proposing?
Minty.
He's proposing.
But I like our reaction to it.
But good
What did he
hints.
say? I
like
don't
that.
know what happened there.
He said, "Are you proposing?" That's what Minty
Oh, okay.
said. Are you proposing?
He's proposing.
So I just wish we had given our response a little bit more clear. But like, no, he's gonna propose, and really, because that's what our response is. You said he's proposing, implying that like he's gonna propose, not like he's proposing right now or he has proposed before.
Yeah.
I
meant like he will be the one to propose.
Yeah. I love that instinct and I love that response. I just
Be more clear.
As like improv communicator, William knows how to translate what you just did. Dumb William in the audience is like, I don't know exactly what she's saying right now. So yeah, we're just like, no, he's gonna be the one to propose, and it's gonna be a gigantic rock, and it's gonna be tomorrow or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. I do improv.
I don't.
But good hints. I like that.
I almost didn't say it because I knew that's what you were gonna follow it up with. I fucking knew it. I should have written it down while I was saying it, so then when you say that, I could have turned it around and been like, checkmate.
You're prepped for hecklers. You know exactly what every heckler in the world would say.
Yeah. I should do a set and just like at the beginning of the set, just be putting things in envelopes and like, guys, I know this is not making sense, but you'll see exactly why I'm doing this right now. And just
that would be really funny.
Just do the whole set, and when someone says something, be like, oh yeah, oh, gotcha, heckler own, blah blah. Oh yeah, oh, gotcha. And then if the audience says something I don't have prepared, I'm like, 1 second. Gotcha, heckler own. That'd be fun.
Also, you could have like multiple if you're taking out of like a briefcase or something. So you actually have like the 3 responses you tend to get. Do you pick the right envelope?
Sure.
Which would be a lot of practicing, but.
Oh, interesting. That I didn't notice that, chat, but that's a good call out. I'll have to watch it again with that in mind. So chat's calling out, at first she put her hands in her pockets multiple times at the beginning of the set. But as the set progressed, the laughs started and she gained momentum. The hands haven't touched her pockets since. it's almost like a visible sign of your growing confidence.
The hands in the pockets was part of like my looking chill aesthetic.
Oh.
So I just get looser from the pre-planned as it progresses. But it was part of I watch a lot of Taylor Tomlinson.
Okay, sure.
I specifically am dressed like her. If I'm gonna be for real.
Okay. If I can
So I was
see
like,
some
she
of this
probably has your
physicality,
pocket sometimes. I will too.
Oh, sure.
That came into the room. But at 24, he didn't even know her. At 24, Adam Sandler was just on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. You can boo for Saturday Night Live. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm here. But that taught me that maybe stories about Adam Sandler is not what I wanted to hear.
I like that we're like this is a very hard one to keep silent. Like I like this building the suspense and laying into the silence, and that we're still sort of like actively like doing things with our hands to show that.
But maybe.
And I like that. But maybe we're still building the tension. But maybe it's what I needed to hear. We're still like. But maybe.
It also wasn't what I needed to hear.
Great, love that.
Thank you guys. Have a good night. Don't go on BetterHelp. No.
Okay, how do you feel about your exit moment?
I didn't need to say anything there.
Oh yeah, you didn't need to say anything, but I do like it that we're leaving and we're kind of like, hey, bye guys, I'm gonna leave this party. Okay, bye. So I do like that leaving moment better than most people's leaving moment, because most people are like, gotta do this mic and gotta walk away, and they're not connecting with the audience on their way out. So I do like that as far as like a way to okay. No, are you? Yep.
I feel like the set was, it was nice watching it back. I do still feel pretty content with my progress. I feel like watching it back, like I there were times where I couldn't think of something now with foresight, but in the moment I did. So I'm relatively proud that I prepped myself to have a beginning of that better stand-up performance style, or more attentive stand-up style. Watching it back, there are a lot of notes, and I will take them in. But I'm happy to get them because now I'm kind of tackling one thing at a time. So I feel a little nervous because I still feel like I really have to work on those. So I actually do feel like I need a while really workshopping this muscle. But those notes hopefully will feel into that before I progress to like a second kind of big focus. Watching it back, I also reinforced that I'm like, I really have to be mentally ready to do this. It's not something I can like replicate and optimize perfectly. I need to really just take it very patiently, kind of like I did there, and be like, I'm gonna do another show and kind of build there, and it's not gonna happen so suddenly. But yeah, probably yeah. You tell me now. Actually, I don't know the next step.
Yeah, it's funny because if I was gonna wrap up all this, I love all the great adjustments. I love the feeling of like I'm just gonna go in here and just feel like I fuck and just have that sort of like confidence monster energy. I love that. Yeah, I don't want to throw too many things to focus at you. So like whatever we did here, definitely keep that as our focus. It definitely worked really well for us. And if we were just gonna add one thing on top of that, if we had to prioritize and add one thing, and just add one thing on top of that, it would be acknowledging the beginning of applause breaks. Because if we can get that, the audience will be applauding more, which will give us more time to think, and us less, and it'll build our confidence because like an applause break is a big confidence booster. So not only will it give us time to think and leave natural space, it'll also validate us and make us feel more confident. So it's like noticing those beginning of applause breaks and being like, thank you, or like, oh yeah, you can applaud, or like, oh, I appreciate it. Whatever you're thinking, or like, yeah, or fish, whatever it is, just activating those, especially in the beginning of the set, so that the audience is trained by the end of the set. I think will be absolutely golden for this this next step in where we're at. And hey, if you've watched this far and you want to see more content, like, comment, subscribe, smash that noti bell. All of our socials will be in the descriptions if you want to see more of our comedy, and you can watch us live on stream on Twitch every Tuesday and Sunday night as we review these videos and write this stand-up